Namaste, Pranam, Gita Dhyana. Om Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Gratitam Purana Munina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitam Ritavarshinim Bhagavatim Ashtadashadhyayinim Ambatva Manusandadhami Bhagavad Gite Bhavatveshini. O Bhagavad Gita, with which Lord Narayana himself gave enlightenment to Arjuna, the ancient sage Vyasa included it in the Mahabharata. O Goddess, showerer of the nectar-like knowledge of non-dualism contained in your 18 chapters, O my affectionate mother, the destroyer of rebirth, I meditate upon thee. Krishna Vandana. Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kansachanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadguru. Son of Vasudeva, the slayer of Kansa and Chanur, extreme delight for Mother Devaki, O Lord Krishna, the supreme teacher of the universe, my salutations to you. We continue our reading of the 5th Adhyaya, the Sannyas Yoga of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, and today it is the 14th verse, the 14th Shloka. The previous Shlok, 13th Shlok that we had read, where Sri Krishna taught us, he told us about the sarva karmāṇi manasa sannyasyaste sukham vashi, that having mentally renounced all the desires, all the actions. Mentally renounced means through discrimination, having got the knowledge that I am not the doer. So having mentally renounced, manasa sannyasyaha, sarva karmāṇi manasah sannyasyaha aste sukham vashi, gets established in the happiness, bliss, peace. All these come to the person who mentally renounces the doership of anything, of any work that he or she is doing. And what happens? Navadvare pure dehi naiva kurvan na eva kurvan na karayam. This indweller, this king, this monarch, happily remains in this body of the 9 openings, in this citadel of the 9 openings, in this fortress of the 9 openings, merrily just sits inside. And neither he is doing any work, na kurvan, neither he is doing, na karayan, nor he is the cause of any of the activity being done around him. He is merrily sitting there in that citadel, in that fortress, in that body of the 9 openings. Now, then who is the doer? If that is the thing, then who is the doer? So Sri Krishna now says that na kartṛitvaṁ na karmāṇi lokasya sṛijati prabhuḥ na karma-phala-saṅyogaṁ svabhāvas pravartate. Na kartṛitvaṁ na karmāṇi lokasya sṛijati prabhuḥ. Na kartṛitvaṁ, that the Lord Prabhu, he does not create any work. Na kartṛitvaṁ, na karmāṇi, nor any actions. The Lord does not create any work, any actions, any duties in this world. It is not the Lord. But now Sri Krishna tells what makes this karma, this action, this duty generate. Who is generating all this the karmas that we are undergoing, the actions that we are performing, all these works there where we are performing, whether fine with the knowledge. The yogis perform it with the knowledge that they are not the doers. Now, is the Lord doer? No, Sri Krishna says even the Lord is not doer. In the previous chapter, he has told us. Like a king, he just remains happily, merrily in that city of the 9 gates, 9 openings. But who is the doer then? And here also in the first shloka, he says, Prabhu is not involved at all. Prabhu na kartṛitvaṁ na karmāṇi lokasya sṛijati. In this world, no work takes place because of the Lord, because of the Purusha. No work, no action. He is not creating anything. Then who is creating? Na karma-phala-saṅyogaṁ svabhāvas pravartate. Neither Lord is involved in creating the union with fruits of action. Lord is not involved. Then who is this culprit? Who is getting us entangled into all kind of works? Do this, do that. And then Sri Krishna says, svabhāvas pravartate. It is the doing of the Prakriti. Now, this is the great philosophical point that Sri Krishna is bringing to the notice of Arjuna and bringing to our notice. That this Brahman is actionless. Brahman is actionless because Brahman is without any of the gunas. None of the sattva, rajas, tamas, these 3 gunas, they are part of Brahman as such. No. Brahman is trigunatita. Brahman is nirguna. Brahman is nirakara. Brahman has no form and name. Brahman has no gunas. Then who is the doer of all these activities? The beings, they get involved in doing the activities, utilizing their body, utilizing their mind, utilizing the senses, and utilizing the intellect. With all that, they keep on performing like the, bullock tied to the, that old kind of oil mill. These people, we all beings, we are 24 hours a day, we are busy doing this, doing that. Koluka bail that they say in Hindi, the bull which is tied to that the olden days oil used to be prepared, oil used to be extracted from the oil seeds by putting them in that ditch, and a stone was being moved with the help of a rod tied to the neck of that bullock, and continuously that fellow will move, and finally the oil will be extracted from those oil seeds. We like that bull, we like that ox, we like that bullock. 24/7 we are put into these activities. Some of them unconscious to us, like our breathing, like our heartbeat. We are not aware we are doing this activity, but the activities are happening. Then our day-to-day activities, our eating, sleeping, then breathing, and all these exercises that we do, that is also happening. Some of them with our consciousness, some of them without our consciousness. Then who is doing? If we are not doing, if the Lord is not doing, Sri Krishna says it is svabhāvas pravartate. It is the nature of the Prakriti element of this Brahman. Brahman, out of its own Leela, manifests as Purusha and the Prakriti. Purusha is inert, like Lord Shiva, lying flat at the feet of Ma Kali, like a corpse. The Purusha never gets involved in any activity. It is the Prakriti, it is the nature, it is the creation. The moment the Prakriti aspect of Brahman gets manifested, this rigmarole, this play of Maya, the play of delusion, the play of activity, the play of karma, starts and we get trapped in it. The yogi knows that he is not doing it, but the a-yogi, he takes all the burden onto himself, or she takes all the burden onto herself, that he or she, and I am the doer, and we get entangled in the karma that we are doing. But in reality, no, we are not. It is all the play of this prakriti, of this creation, of this nature. Now, what Sri Krishna has told in this 14th shloka is, the Lord does not create agency or actions for the world. He doesn't. He need not. He is not capable. That is not his agenda at all. That is not his portfolio to create the agencies. Satvik will do this work, this fellow will do that work, this girl will do this work. No. And the Lord does not create agency nor any actions for the world. These are all not created by the Lord. Neither. The Lord, he does not create union with the fruits of the actions also. Lord is not bothered with work. Lord is not bothered with who is going to do the work. And Lord is also not bothered, not involved with what fruit this person is going to get out of after doing this work. So he is not at all involved in any of this scope. This doesn't lie in the scope of the Lord. The agency, the work, and the fruits of the work. Then who is responsible for all those gimmicks? Nature does it all. Svabhāvas pravartate. All these things, the agency, who is going to do the work? The work as such, what is to be done? And the fruits of the work, the fruits of that action, what one is going to get, is all defined, is all determined by the prakriti, by the nature, by the creation. Due to ignorance, the individual self identifies himself with nature or prakriti and assumes the ownership. It is because of this maya, this delusion which is created by the prakriti. We get entrapped into that delusion and we start feeling, I am doing this. At the moment we get this feeling of I am doing this, we have to suffer with the joy and sorrow, with pain and pleasure, with happiness and unhappiness, with elation and frustration. Everything we have to suffer on that account, because we are the doer. We get deluded with the under the influence of that maya, which is very much the creation of this prakriti. Actually, all the work belongs to the prakriti, belongs to the nature and not to the Atman. So in reality, neither this body is responsible for doing any work. As Sri Krishna taught us in the previous shlokas, that we get the work, the person gets the work done through this body, through this intelligence, through this the senses, through the mind. Now all these are the agencies, all these are the resources which are doing this work. In reality, prabhuḥ here says, Sri Krishna says, even the Lord is not responsible for these agencies. It is only the prakriti, it is only the ignorance generated out of the delusion of maya in this prakriti, that we start taking upon the ownership of the things that we are doing. And we suffer for that. Like Arjuna, he is slumped in the footboard of that chariot thinking, I am going to kill all those Kauravas, my cousins, my near and dear ones, my swajana and all that. And then I am going to be the resultant agency for the downfall of this society, for the degradation of this society, and all those. I will be responsible for that. So I will not fight. Here goes my bow. Here are my arrows. I am not going to fight. And like a child, he starts crying in front of Krishna. Krishna says, you are not doing anything, Baba. Why you are perturbed? So time and again, Krishna is telling that let us not get deluded by Maya, taking the ownership of the work that we are doing. We are just the instruments. In fact, the work is not even of the Lord. The work, the moment Prakriti comes into play, the moment the Brahman projects, manifests itself as the Prakriti, this drama, this play of the work starts. Otherwise, it is all sitting in that citadel, in that fortress of the 9 openings, sitting happily without any work, without any pleasures, just relaxing. That's it. That is the real nature of the Atman, the absolute bliss. So this is what Sri Krishna tells us, that karma pertains to the Prakriti, not to the Purusha, in this 14th shloka of the Sannyasa Yoga. And this is how Sri Krishna is slowly bringing out the point of what is the real renunciation that is going to make us work. That is all the objective of Sri Krishna teaching us this Sannyasa Yoga, not running away from the work and going and hiding somewhere in the forest and saying, I have renounced everything, I have taken a sannyas. That is not the sannyas. So that is our reading of the 14th shloka of the Sannyasa Yoga for the day. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Sri Krishna Arpanamastu. Jai Sri Ramakrishna. Jai Thakur. Jai Ma. Jai Swamiji.